Hey guys, okay, giving you an update. We have been working on pool equipment demo. That's right, this thing has been neglected for so long. Thought I'd take an opportunity to show you guys what we've been doing. So we had the old fence came down right here. And this was before we put the shop in. So we had this piece of fence here and we anchored the swimming pool equipment to that fence. Well, it's all rusted out. We put the shop in. When we put the shop in, water drains to this area. So I really need to come in here, fix the gutters. I need to put a French drain because water comes down the side of the shop and it goes out to the ditch in the back, which goes right over here, turns a 90-degree corner and goes to the lake. So, what are we doing? Well, I'm wallowing in the mud, literally. But we took the fence out today. I'm gonna come in here, clean this out, put me a French drain right here, tie the drains into the French drain. We'll have it where it catches all the water, and then I'm gonna funnel it right out to the back. While I'm in here, that was one of the hassles before, was we had the fence in the back and you could never work on the pool equipment. You were always having to struggle with the fence. Little things like taking the drain plug out of the back of the filter, you couldn't get to because of the actual fence. So now that that's all gone, we're gonna come in here, clean this up, put nice gravel down to go around the French drain, and we're gonna solve this problem. This is the control panel right here. You can see looking a little rusty. So we'll come in here, set a post, a little 2-inch by 2-inch metal post where we can actually set this on there and hang it where it's easily accessible. No problems. A couple of things we did today. We took out the other filter. So this is one of the quote unquote sensitive pieces I've got to get out with the heat gun, coming in a future video. Over here, we used to have a what they called a Polaris in the pool cleaner. We've since switched over to robots. This pump quit working, and that's what made that decision for us. So one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove all the plumbing. No reason to have this in here if we're not even using it. So that pump and the plumbing is coming out. Then we gotta get over here to the heater, and we'll cross that bridge another day because that's gonna take a little work. So that was the first thing we did today. Come on up here to Scott's pool shop. So one of the things on a project like this is, I got a lot of parts ordered because of all of the swimming pool damage in North Texas. Swimming pool parts are basically very limited, hard to find. I mean, you literally got to order them from places like California, Florida, North Carolina, places like that have a surplus because everything in Texas is wiped out. So in the meantime, I've been cleaning up some of my fittings. These are the fittings that actually go into the top of the pool. I've been ordering some stuff, so here's some new fittings that'll go back in. We got those handled. So slowly working on some things. So come over here. Now this is one of the big pieces of the puzzle. This is the lid to the filter. And you can see that crack. I want everybody to say it with me. No bueno. That is not good. So the crack comes all the way up to the lip. Luckily, it didn't go all the way through. So what's the plan of attack? I'm gonna come in here and sand all of this back and forth with an electric drill with the wire brush. And then I'll come back and use an electric drill with like a emery cloth wheel on it. I'm gonna clean this up really good. Then I'm gonna lay down some massive fiberglass. I'm gonna come in here and put fiberglass all the way across it. And I'm gonna do it on the inside, and then I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna do the same thing on the outside. So I'm gonna put a fiberglass sandwich on both sides of this filter. On the outside of the filter, may not look that great. On the inside of the filter, you have plenty of room, so even adding a 1/4 of an inch patch over this will not hurt you on the inside. All right, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay guys, this is some of the work we've been doing. And let me tell you what, this was not fun. This one was very, very hard to get off. So what we did was we came in here and actually had to cut with the reciprocating little hacksaw. I came in here and cut some various places. You can see I almost got a little bit too deep on that one, but I think it's gonna be okay. But now what we did was, once this thing got really, really hot, I had it bent all out of shape. You can see it looks like a roasted marshmallow, if you will. So what I did was, as it started to cool, I put a piece of PVC pipe back in here, and then I basically just took my hand with my glove on and pressed this thing back down to make it form around that pipe so I can cool it off, and hopefully we can make this thing work. But roasted marshmallow. How to remove PVC plumbing inside of the deal. But you can see, man, this is what this thing looked like. And you get it hot enough and you just give it some little release cuts in there, you can start to just peel it off. And once it starts to go, it'll actually go. But I'm pretty happy. I think that's a pretty good fitting. I like it. I'm gonna leave that in there and let it cool off the rest of the night. But let me tell you what, that's not one of those repairs you want to do very often. Over here was the other one we did. And this is the one where basically you had another valve that was on here like this going down. And this one was a little bit easier because it was an external fitting instead of an internal. So the fact that it was external, I was able to make some cuts on the surface, kind of like you can imagine right here. So if you put some cuts every 1 inch and then heat it up, you can peel it off in 1 inch sections. It's much easier to work when it's a fitting that goes over it as opposed to inside. But anyway, hey, I think we're there. So we've made some pretty good progress. This has been one of those days. All right, guys, I think most of the demo work is done. We got the bad fittings out of the way. So now we should be down to nothing but installing new fittings, new valves, and moving forward. So that's the only suspect one I got. It's not very pretty, but you know what? Everybody says that's just part of the norm. So we'll hit it with some, I've got some PVC cement coming specifically for wet pool type applications, which is supposed to be extra durable and tough. And we're gonna get that thing in there and off to the races we go. More to follow. Okay guys, I apologize for the shadows here, but let me show you the other thing we did today on pool repair with Scott. So this is the fiberglass lid. I showed you guys where it was cracked earlier. So what we did was we came in here and put some fiberglass on it. And so this thing had a crack that went around the perimeter up at the top. It went all the way up to the side. You can see this is some of the fiberglass we used. So what we did was we came in here with a grinding wheel and a wire brush on a DeWalt drill. And I went back and I just scratched all of this surface up, back and forth, all around the bottom. Got it all scratched up, came back with a little bit of a sanding or emery wheel in the DeWalt. Went back, smoothed it all up, made the surface rough. And then I came in here and I basically put in two things. I put in a 1 inch strip over the crack. And then down here, I put in about the size of a grapefruit, a circle. So that was the first thing I did. Then I came back with about a 4 inch strip of fiberglass and a second circle down here at the bottom, which was about, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches in diameter. So basically, you've got a thin layer of fiberglass over the crack all the way. Then you have a wider piece of fiberglass over the narrow strip to really give it some strength and basically give it 2 layers. So hopefully this thing will be watertight. Now up here, once this dries completely tomorrow, I'll take a little cut-off wheel, cut this off smooth, sand down that little lip right there, and maybe we'll be good. I don't know. So then on the outside, now keep in mind this is the outside of the deal. we basically did the same thing. So it was cracked, if you remember, all the way down on this side, and then up at the top it had a couple of cracks. Now this wasn't as pretty, my stuff was hardening up on me, but you know, I really don't care what it looks like as long as it's good. So in the grooves, you notice down here for strength, it's got the ribs on the bottom. So it was cracked right down through here. So we shoved the fiberglass and the resin down in there. This right here, we can come back tomorrow. We'll take the little grinding wheel, we'll knock that off smooth. I'll do a little bit of light sanding on all of this up here at the top. And guys, have you ever heard of Krylon spray paint? A $2 can or $3 can of spray paint. I'll give it a quick glance over on the top. And hey, it is what it is. Nobody looks at it, and I think it'll hold. And that's the main thing, because let me tell you, I went out and I looked at these, and you know, what a ripoff, but they know they got you. You know, a new filter is about 15 or 1700 bucks. Just the lid alone, just the lid is $479, because the good folks at Stay Right, they know that the lids crack whenever they have pool damage, freezing pool damage. So they try to stick it to you, 479 bucks. Ouch, for a non-moving piece of fiberglass that's molded. Hey, I get it, you know, but come on guys, come on guys. So we'll see if this works. My thought is throw 30 or 40 bucks of fiberglass at it. If I can make it work, get it functional, kudos to me. Kick the can down the road, right? All right, more to follow. Hey guys, I want to show you something. So we're on the pool repair project, and I tell you what, these housings for the pump, you can't get them right now. They're in a short supply, so you cannot even get it. They're stocked out, because you think of the whole entire state of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, I mean, all the way down in Oklahoma, golly, all of these places that got hit with this freeze. Pool equipment's not used to that, man. So there is a shortage of anything pool related. So right now we're getting confirmations of like May, June, July for some of these plumbing parts. So what I've done here, this housing, and you can see here, apologize for what I'm going to use as a pointer, but you can see right here, this thing was cracked all the way down, and it came over to the housing there, and it came over to here. And it went through on the very bottom down here. But really, that's gonna have a fitting in it with Teflon tape. So one thing I did was I took a metal clamp and put around the base of it and tightened it up so it could not split any further. Now this right here doesn't alarm me too much because it's on the face of the deal. But on the inside, what I've done here is I've actually came in here and put fiberglass. I've covered the middle crack that goes all the way up with 2 layers of fiberglass. And really, it's not so much that it's important that it leaks from one side of that wall to this side, because it's all contained. It might just be a little bit of a loss in pressure, but my goal right now is to get this thing running, and I can limp down the road until May or June when the replacement part shows up. So this little piece you're looking at right here was about $120 3 days ago. Now, because of the shortage of pool supply parts, that little piece is about $200 right now. So if I can fix it using some true fiberglass resin, marine grade, kudos to me. So once this dries, I'll come in here tomorrow and I'll just cut this little section out. I'll clean up the hole right down here, cut that out. And you know, a blind squirrel every once in a while finds a nut. We'll see, but I think there's some hope here that I may get out of this relatively inexpensively. We'll see, more to follow. Okay guys, well, I don't know if I'm as dumb as a bag of rocks or if I'm a rocket scientist, but you can see how this thing was split basically right down the middle. You can see right through here, there is the crack that was there. So I've now put 2 layers of fiberglass on that crack all the way up. Now keep in mind, in here, all that you have is this filter that actually goes in here, so it's not a perfect tight fit. It's just got to hold water. So the fact that I've got 2 layers of fiberglass over it, I feel pretty good. Now you can see down in there, a little bit is overhanging the opening down there at the very bottom, but you know, I think that's okay. It's just gonna come in and affect water flow a little bit. Now you can see here where I did from the bottom side, you can see I've got a little bit of overhang, but I'll come in here tomorrow with an X-Acto knife and I'll cut that off because it'll be hard as a rock. And you can see up here on the top, this actually has a couple of cracks in it. It's got one on this side and one on this side. But you know what? I can put a metal band across it like I did. And when you put your fitting in here, your fitting's gonna be on the inside where the water's actually flowing. And when you use a ton of Teflon tape or plumber's putty, you know, I think I may be able to kick the can down the road. I mean, this is not a long-term solution. This is honestly just trying to get this thing running so I can get the swimming pool equipment up and functioning. And then when the replacement part shows up in April or May, I can actually change it out. But you know, sometimes you gotta make do with what you got. So that's what we're doing. We're using a little fiberglass repair on pool pump housing. More to follow. Hey guys, Scott with Heritage Farms, Texas. Well, you can't keep a good man down. Here it is, March 22nd, Monday afternoon after work. It's been like a whole complete month, but look at this. We finally have the swimming pool running. Look at that, Kimber's happy. Hey Kimber, shake hands, shake, shake, shake. Kimber, shake. Nope, not gonna do it for me. All right, let me show you what we're working on here, guys. Well, here's the pool equipment, and this is what you call a minimized version of the pool equipment. We got it running, which is outstanding. This is the primary pump, and if you can see right here, we actually got a leak coming out that I'm gonna have to tighten up and fix. Hold on. All right, turn this off for a second so we can just see what we got going on. All right, so in this situation, what we had was, you know, if you remember, this pump is actually cracked, and where it's leaking may just be part of the deal. I've ordered a new pump housing, but you cannot get one of these. It's impossible to get. Manufacturer said it may be June, July, August before we can get a pump housing for this and a pump housing for this. This does all of the water features like the waterfalls on the pool and the spa. So I've totally just disconnected them. There's also a 3-way valve that sits up here. Can't get it, so I just totally disconnected it. I'm just trying to get the pool functional at this point in time. If you remember, the filter here, the cartridge filter, absolutely cracked in half. And you'll see in some of the other video clips, we actually fiberglass the inside and outside of that filter cover. It's not pretty at all. It's ugly. But you know what? It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be functional. Once again, my cheapness is coming out. So what did we do over here? I replaced this check valve. I replaced this manual valve. Replaced all of the plumbing that goes through here. I had to change this plumbing. While I was at it, we actually had to relocate the control panel because before it was in a bad position. So I had to extend the wiring down to this, move everything over, got rid of the ugly rusted out fence that was behind it, replaced it with one single post. So that's all good. Progress. Over here, the heater is absolutely shot, has a busted manifold. Same story there. You can't get the manifold until literally who knows when. They won't even acknowledge a ship date. So totally disconnected the heater, gonna remove it. We'll see if it's worth salvaging. I really don't think so. But bottom line, we have a streamlined, reduced version of the pool equipment. And you know what? Structurally, it's holding. This has been pieced together. This has been pieced together. It's got fiberglass on the inside. And we'll see what happens. New check valve here. This goes once again to the water features. And we'll see what happens. Not making any promises, but I think I will at least be able to run the pool and hopefully keep the pool running long enough we can just keep it from growing algae until the two housings. I really need this housing and this one to get this thing back up and running 100%, along with this 3-way valve. All right, guys, I digress. Just wanted to give you an update, but I think we have the pool equipment up and running. Glory be to God. Can't keep a good man down. Mother Nature dealt us a blow, but hey, we're crawling back and we're gonna make it work. Thanks, guys. Leave us a thumbs up, comment. Please subscribe if you're not a member. Thanks.